Welcome back. Pretty much what your brother sounds like every time he does his intro. I'm Terry Tam. You are Duke. So, yeah. Or I'm Duke and you're Terry Tam. And we have Eagle and Master Control as usual.
Let me fix this. Nope, wrong way. There we go. You are the correct size.
I like this shit. It's good. The music wasn't still fucking playing.
You want to be the right size or?
No, it's good. It's good. I like it. It's nice. Duke, how you been, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm trying to set up the watch party. So just talk. Talk while
I knew he was doing something because he was so quiet. Whenever Duke gets quiet, because he's doing something. This should have been done before.
Duke, what do you think about the socioeconomic conflict happening in Palestine?
You already lost them at Duke. What do you think?
No, I mean I could give an answer to this. You want my honest opinion?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, because I'm not gonna give it to you. Nobody wants to hear me talk about that. It could get us in trouble.
Eagle, how was PAX?
It was fucking awesome.
Explain to normal people what PAX is.
Okay, so actually, it's really hard to explain. It's a bunch of nerds.
It's a Comic-Con.
It's different. So it's kind of like a consumer version of E3, if you guys know what E3 is. So pretty much a lot of the major game publishers are all there. So for example, Square, THQ Nordic, Sony was supposed to be there, but they pulled out because of coronavirus and everything. Audio Technica was there for like their, I guess, headphones and headsets and everything, microphones.
Yeah.
We're also using Audio Technica mics.
There you go.
So anyway. And indie developers are all there. You have tabletop games who are there, card collecting games that are there. So yeah, pretty much it's just a big consumer event.
It's a clusterfuck of nerds.
It really is.
A lot of Asian people.
No, you'd be surprised actually.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because coronavirus, they didn't let him in.
Yeah, just a bunch of white dudes
just
walking around being nerdy.
Just a bunch of white guys.
I'd imagine this event is full of very awkward interactions. Is there a situation that happened that was super awkward?
So I did go see a panel where the people that were presenting it, actually there was a guy from Montreal, which was hilarious, but anyway. So basically it was like these video game reviewers. You know how everyone's like, oh, you know, this game's like a 7 or like an 8.5. So the whole panel was to try and convince you that a game was actually a 10 on 10, even though all the reviews were very like mediocre, because it's like it's dear to your heart. So they went through this whole thing of like, explaining what the game was and why they loved it so much. And at the end, they're like, any people in the audience that want to go ahead and submit a game. And then you just got this line of people. And I'm just like, oh, God, this is going to be bad.
So they give their ideas on games?
Yeah, they were like, this game over here is the best game. And then the crowd's like, no, that game sucks.
Okay, it's not a game. It's not a game like it's not a game that they made.
No, it's not a game they made.
They're not pitching an idea for a
that
game,
got like very average reviews or bad reviews, but it's like, oh, I love it, you know? So one guy was like, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racers, right? Remember that game? It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But not a good game by definition. Dragon's Dogma was another one. Earth Defense Force was another one. These guys were like the panelists were kind of talking about. And then you had someone who was like, mentioned this obscure game that nobody had played before. So everyone's just like, boo.
Those guys. This is what I find with gamers. Okay?
Right.
Is that they try too hard.
Why?
To be like, oh, I have this game. This game is the best one.
Yeah.
It's like if nobody in there knew what that game was, it means it's not good. You know what I mean?
So
Even
like,
if it's like your type of game.
What's your like perfect 10 on 10 game?
It has to be GTA 3.
That's a good question.
That's not bad.
GTA 3 was probably my favorite game. GTA 3.
I'll say Resident Evil 2, really original.
Actually, you know what?
It's a pretty good one.
I don't want to put sports
best
games
video
in there
game ever.
because they're very different. But I'd say Battlefield 4 or GTA 3.
Okay, but these games are actually good. I'm talking about a game that's shit, but that you will play the fuck out of.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Oh, I'd say Stardew Valley is pretty bad.
No, that's a fucking great game.
I don't like it.
Got like amazing ratings just because he doesn't like it, you know?
I don't like it.
Honestly, I don't really. Well, there was a game that came with my PlayStation that was pretty good. I forgot the name of it though. It was a first shooter game. Fuck.
You guys are bad at this.
I'm not a gamer. I play games that people play.
Bad game that you love.
Oh, probably Mass Effect. Mass Effect was a pretty bad one that I played a lot.
No, Mass Effect was fucking awesome.
The last one. The last one.
It was still awesome. You just didn't like the ending.
No, it was just really boring.
This is crazy. You know what's crazy is that gamers, they can play the same game for months.
Yeah.
But they'll still have time to play other games.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay,
I still understand.
so you can watch as many football games as you want, but you still watch hockey or soccer or all the other shit.
No, yeah, I get that, like, the whole thing, but
or
it's
you
like,
can watch like a drama on Netflix and still watch the marriage comedy
but there's
thing,
so many.
whatever's going on now.
There's so many games. There's
Yeah.
so many, and like Mass Effect. What's it about, Mass Effect?
I can't even tell you. Bro.
Exactly.
I can't even tell you.
yeah, but
Aliens.
you can't tell me anything.
I can't.
It's like there's like I almost feel like there's more games out there than there is porn.
Anyway,
That's
so yeah,
not true. That's actually statistically false.
It's
It has to be
it has to
statistically
be.
false.
There's like
There's gonna always be more porn than video
There's
games.
10,000 videos being uploaded a second on
Yeah,
Pornhub.
and it
just
takes-
on Pornhub.
It takes like months to make, years to make a video game.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So anyway, so I got to go to a couple panels, which was really cool. I got to see a symphony orchestra play the soundtrack for a few games, which was pretty cool
That's
as well. Supergiant Games, check them out by the way. Pyre, Transistor, and Bastion. They're fucking awesome games, and the soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah.
I got to try out Magic Legends, which is the new game by Wizards of the Coast, kind of like a Diablo meets Magic dungeon crawler type of game.
Yeah.
I did not get to try the Final Fantasy VII remake demo because they ran out
Which
of
is the
tickets
only
to try
reason
it
why
out.
you went.
Well,
Which is the only reason why
it
you
was
went.
a reason why I went. So I missed by like 15 people to get a ticket.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
But then Monday morning they launched it for everyone on the PlayStation Store. So I beat it like 4 times already. So it's really awesome. Got a picture with the bike. Spent like $300 on merch. It was really awesome.
Yeah. I'm like
Yeah.
that too.
No, this took's from a while back actually.
So good, man. You had a good time.
Yeah, had a really good time. We're
And
gonna go
now-
again.
And
Check
now the
it out.
next one you're saying is in Anaheim, or
So the next big one is E3, which is in June in Los Angeles Convention Center.
okay,
Granted, what's going on with the whole coronavirus, we'll see.
whatever.
They already canceled GDC, Games Developer Conference. So that was supposed to be scheduled for April, if I'm
Where
not
was
mistaken.
that?
That's also San Diego, I
Okay.
think. San Francisco, maybe.
And
Anyway,
you were
that
in
was-
Boston. You were in Boston this week.
That was in Boston,
Okay.
yeah. And then after that, the big one is Gamescom in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's BlizzCon if you're a Blizzard person. That's going to be in November. So those are kind of like the big ones coming up. And then I think there's Tokyo Game Show somewhere in there as well. Anyway, there's a bunch of them. But yeah, the big ones are E3, PAX, Gamescom, and then BlizzCon if you're a Blizzard guy.
So this one was a big one.
it was a fucking big one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it was
Cool,
huge.
man. Good. I've never gone to like conventions like Comic-Con or anything. I've never been. I've always been intrigued to go, but
But you've been
I
like
don't
the auto show?
I went to a bike show when I was like 12.
That counts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
12. Okay.
I know. It's only because my aunt got me. I was probably like 14. My aunt got me a motorcycle like book, and I became obsessed with motorcycles. So I went to one, but it wasn't much. I don't remember much out of it. And then, I'll probably get my motorcycle license. I haven't done it yet. What are you looking at yourself?
This is the time for you to get a motorcycle license, man. I just feel like this is your time.
This is the time now.
This is the time for you to do
This is
it.
a massive transition in my life. So
I think this is
Yeah.
the time for you to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that next year won't be the time. The year later,
2021.
I think
Terry
this
has his
summer-
motorcycle license.
Because listen, here's the other thing too. I don't know how to ride a bicycle. Did I ever tell you this?
Like a regular bicycle?
I do not know how to ride a
This is
bicycle.
Oh my
Probably-
god, can
this is
we
probably the
teach
best
him
thing.
how to use a
Yes.
bicycle?
Yeah.
Put like
Actually-
trainer wheels and everything?
Yeah.
My wife would be very happy because she's always on my ass about this. She's always saying,
How don't you
"Why
know
the
how to ride
fuck
a
don't you know
bike?"
how to ride a bicycle?" I mean, I never learned. I never learned as a kid, and I have
It's
terrible
not
balance.
that hard. You fucking pedal and balance.
Yes, it's not hard if you're a child learning, but if you're an adult, it fucking sucks. Because if you fall, it hurts so much. Whereas if you're a child, you could just roll on a small bicycle. I was never into biking at all. It was never really a thing I wanted to do, but I think this is a thing I want to absolutely learn this year.
What
So,
other life skills do you not know how to do?
I recently got into skiing. I recently got into
Yeah, but
skiing.
that's not. No, that doesn't count. I'm
Like
talking
downhill
like tying
skiing.
your shoes or whistling or something.
Can you
Whistling
whistle?
I could do. Whistling I can absolutely do.
Go.
can
do
you-
it. Oh, that's not bad.
Can
Can
you
you
do?
blow bubble gum?
No, that I can't do.
No, I can't do that too, actually.
No, I can't do.
I just never did it.
That's so weird.
I don't know. I can't think of anything else dumb that I can't do.
I don't know what I can't do.
I can think of a lot of things you can't do.
Yeah, that's true. that's true. Live a normal fucking life without anxiety. That's another thing I can't do.
So good, man. So Eagles, he nerded it up. He recharged his nerd battery.
Okay.
That was gonna
Cool.
be extra nerdy.
Can we talk about sports?
I was about to ask. I was about to throw it to you.
No, I mean I would love to talk about sports, but Terry, it's the news. It's the news, Terry. On this week's news, the Battlehawks and the goddamn Rough Riders, top of the motherfucking XFL standings, bro. What do you think about the XFL? Have you been watching it?
I haven't watched the last couple weeks. I see the scores and stuff, so that's the only thing I know.
Are you only watching highlights?
No, it's because I'm basically homeless, so I don't really have TVs.
You have your computer. It's the bad experience. It's a bad
Yeah,
experience.
but I'm not really home that much because I don't have a home.
Well, you want to tell us why? You want to tell us why you don't have a home?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm not home enough, so like I don't really pay. I didn't take the time to look at them. Sometimes I'll catch highlights and stuff, but other than that. But I am very intrigued by the league,
Yeah,
and I do feel that if the NFL does somehow get involved, that it should be like a G League for the NFL. 100%.
There's a couple of players in this league that I really like. Now I'll be just straightforward about this. After the NFL season, it is hard for me to bargain for time on a weekend. Like when my Raiders are playing, like I've been married for a while. I've been with my wife for a long time, and when it comes to weekend hours, I know that when it comes to the Raiders playing, she's go watch the Raiders. No problem.
Yeah.
And the fact is, I watch a lot of football, but now the season is over. This is where all the plans are happening, and the XFL comes around. It's like, nah. I mean, I can't convince her. Listen, I gotta watch the Vipers tonight.
The Vipers.
I gotta watch the.
I gotta watch the
Vipers.
LA Wildcats
because I got the under on it.
I gotta watch the New York Guardians tonight.
But there's a couple players I like. There's like Philip Walker. He's the main
PJ Walker.
He's a main dude. He's the main dude in the league that everyone's talking about a lot. He's pointing his phone at you. But I actually really like
watch. Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green is signing a shoe deal with Converse. Sources tell ESPN he will become the brand's highest profile athlete since Dwayne Wade. Green had been with Nike.
Big
Good
news.
Good for you, Draymond Green, you loser.
Converse is a funny thing, right? Like when you think about NBA shoe money, like they're not really a brand you see anymore. In the NBA.
They're probably ugly now. The Converse used to be like back in the day when all the white guys used to wear Chuck T's.
Yeah, it had that style. It made sense. Now it kind of doesn't. Whereas they're fighting in a retail space that's really, really like it's tied up to Nike, to Under Armour, Nike? Jordan brand,
Who's Nike?
to Adidas, and
Nike.
Nike. I'm not fucking called Nike.
It's Nike. That's the word.
I'm not gonna fucking call Nike.
But that's how you call it.
But I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna call you Duque from now on.
I don't care. I don't give
All
a
right,
fuck.
Duque.
But I mean, it's to enter.
Let's listen to Duque.
No one ever wants to listen to me. But entering that retail space with all those shoe brands and like, I don't know. I feel like it's tough because it's mostly dried up right now.
Yeah.
And guys like Zion are already signed.
Yeah.
And they'll have to basically hope for, and also a lot of the players that are coming out of the NBA draft this year, it's not going to be a very good NBA draft compared to previous seasons.
It's never a good NBA draft.
No, last year was a nice one.
Well, because of RJ and Zion and Ja.
Oh, and Ja, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, two transcendent.
Should the XFL have a draft?
No, I think they should.
Should
I think
the
they
XFL
should
have a draft?
No,
Oh, they don't need to.
unless they have like a supplemental
need to.
draft.
But they wouldn't even need that. This is the most brilliant thing about the XFL. They do not have to have a draft, and they'll just the players will trickle in. Like all the players that don't make it into the NFL from the NFL draft, they'll just trickle into the XFL.
I have an idea. So there's 7 rounds in the NFL draft, right?
Yes.
Then we add in rounds 8 to 10, and it's the XFL that drafts it instead.
That's fucking.
That's
fucking.
you
Imagine
take-
you still don't get drafted. How
Or-
bad are you?
Or you take the CFL, you take the XFL, NFL below the NFL, right? The NFL is the top league. They will funnel players to those leagues. Okay, CFL would still have to keep the rules with non-imports and whatever, all that stuff. They'll figure that out. You funnel to that area. You funnel to those. So what you do is you take the northern part of the United States, and those are the teams that are going to be in the CFL as the G League. And then you take the southern part of the United States, and those are the teams that are going to be in the XFL.
Okay, so it's a cool idea, man. It's a cool.
just-
idea.
It'll never
it's just
happen.
never gonna fucking happen.
It's
It's
never
a
going to
completely different game. Yeah, exactly.
It'll never happen.
But they probably.
But it should have more happen in the XFL. Forget about the CFL. If they do that for the XFL, I think I said it last week, where if you take all the guys that are drafted if you're drafted between the 4th and the 7th round, or you're unsigned, you're eligible for the XFL. So if I have a player, I'm a team. I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have an offensive lineman that I think needs to get bigger, needs to get stronger. I don't want to cut him. I drafted him in the 5th round. I see that he's good. I don't have space for him this year, but I don't want to cut him. I will send him down to the XFLs, to the LA Wildcats. Well, maybe not the LA Wildcats, probably the New York Guardians for Pittsburgh. And he will play a year there against good talent, get bigger, and then next year he comes to camp, and if he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he's sent back down.
Yeah, but it won't work that way because of the differences in the ownership groups and whatnot. But it's still a cool idea.
It's the same thing with the.
But I think what I'll say about the XFL is I actually think would benefit them to not have a draft if you could just hear me out on this,
Yeah,
on this,
You have the whole world to choose.
you do, but also is that you would kind of spearhead a different kind of economic pattern and a different kind of economic financial plan for your league, where your idea and the way you propose it is like, look, we don't draft players, we don't look at you like livestock. We will, our owners are free to spend their money however they want. If they want to pay you, they want to offer you a contract for $20 million, they can do that.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the greatest way to do it, because by having a salary cap, what you're doing is you're handcuffing a lot of ownership groups that want to spend more money, because you're trying to create an equality between the richer teams and the poorer teams. Whereas if you're the XFL, you take on a European soccer model where you say, look, we don't need a draft. These teams are owned by multimillionaires. Billionaires in some cases.
Yeah.
Let them offer whatever they want for, let's say in the case that Tua Tagovailoa had this terrible injury, it was worse than ever, wouldn't have gone drafted in previous years because he had this crazy injury, especially if this hip injury happened like way in the past when they didn't have the same kind of procedures, he probably wouldn't have been drafted. And a team and a league like the XFL can say, look, the guy slipped through the cracks and now he can sign with whoever he wants.
I like the idea. I actually think it's probably just one of the smartest things you've ever said.
Thanks, my man.
No problem, buddy. It's what I'm here
Wait,
for.
it's that chicken
Cheers.
sandwich.
Cheers.
It's really
Cheers.
that chicken sandwich you gave me before. It unloosened the jowls.
What's
as they
your
say.
favorite kind of sub?
Mine?
Like sandwich,
Let's start with Eags. Eags, you got one on mine.
I like a good steak and cheese, man.
steak and cheese. You can't go wrong with that, man.
Philly cheesesteak or steak and cheese?
No, steak and cheese.
Steak and
I don't like
cheese,
the
yeah.
Philly cheese. It's too messy.
Yeah,
Philly
I'm
cheese
kind of the
too
same way. I'm
intense. It's too
kind of the same
intense.
way.
Yeah, Philly cheesesteak, like you're halfway through, it's too much.
You?
Oh, for me, I always go anything spicy chicken related. I love spicy chicken.
All right, it's good. I'm a meatball guy.
Chicken
I'm a
parm,
meatball-
chicken
I'm a
parm.
meatball
No,
sub. I'm a
I've
hoagie.
never
Chicken
liked the
parm.
meatball sub.
I'm a hoagie
No,
guy.
I
Chicken
can't do
parm.
it. I can't do it.
Hoagie or like a crispy chicken, like a
Crispy
fried chicken
chicken.
sandwich, like from Gentile's.
But that's why you need a chicken parm, because the chicken's
chicken
fried.
parm, yeah, with the sauce and the
Scaff
cheese.
on a little bit of cheese
Little scaffon.
with a little bit of tomato. It's good.
Did you just burp?
No. I didn't do it. Don't blame me.
What else was there to talk about? We said something.
Oh, we're just talking about the XFL, but I mean, we could move on to other things, to other sports if you
What
want.
was the next? That's what I'm saying. What was the next thing we said?
I don't know. There's a couple of things. There's obviously the XFL. There's a lot of different things going on. Basically, you have the Battle Hawks that are at the top of the XFL East.
Forget
You
about
have
the XFL.
You have the Roughnecks that are at the top of the XFL West, and my secret favorite team in this whole league is definitely the LA Wildcats.
Oh yeah, I won. I love their uniforms, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I
like. How
I don't
I
know
like
if this
what
is
they're
gonna
working
last like 5 seasons, but it will last one.
on. Oh, for sure.
So anyway, we'll move on. So Christian Yelich is
Oh, yeah.
moving on to a potential deal with the Brewers. That's going to be $250 million extension to his current contract. He was given, I think it was a $47 or $48 million contract that he had signed with the Marlins before they traded him to the Brewers for fucking a bag of peanuts, literally.
He's young though. I think he's like, how old is he? Eagle?
He's
Yelich?
he's very young.
Christian Yelich.
But
I am.
But young
looking.
in baseball is very different from young in football, because young in baseball is like 32. You're fucking young.
Yeah, exactly.
He's 28.
He's 20. Okay, I thought he was 20, like 26.
So, no, 28's a perfect age in baseball. It's
So
almost-
in 2028, so that's 8 years, 36 years old.
yeah, and
perfect.
it looks like it's set to make to 12.5 this season, 2021, and $15 million club option in 2022,
Do you-
which for sure they'll.
I don't think
they'll
obviously we won't. We'll never know the feeling of being financially stable for the rest of your life at the
Yes.
age of 28.
Yeah. Well, I think that what happens is that, you like think about when we were 28, we didn't fucking know anything at all, and that's not even
28
that long
is when
ago.
I started learning stuff.
And that's not even that long ago.
28 is 5 years ago for me. 28 was where I started like figuring out really how life works.
But think about all the dumb deals you would have made with people. Like, I feel like you need to be kind of jaded a little bit before you
Yeah.
get that money. Because when you're young, it's like some guy comes, he's like, "Guy, I'm gonna open a fucking restaurant, and we're gonna only sell cannolis."
It's
And
crazy.
you're
how
like, that's an amazing idea. I'll give you $50 million.
yeah, take
you
it.
know?
Take all my money. Awesome idea.
Whereas
Very
now
easy.
you're like, I don't know. I've seen my share of fucking live league
I would
videos,
pay
you know?
Eagle to fill in the blank. I would pay Eagle to fill in the blank.
to fill my blank.
I'd pay you to make up a game, like a video game.
I don't think I'd be good at that.
Then I'd put it into production
I don't
and
think
then
I'd be good at that either.
and then print them all out and then piss all over them.
That seems like a waste of money.
But it'd be worth it.
But
just
you
to see your
pay me,
face.
right?
but, but I got the money, right? Claude Julien, your boy.
Wait. We're not there yet. We're
Why
not
not?
there yet. Because I just wanted to pull out a couple of things. So
Pull them out.
I just want to ask. Okay, so if I give you the numbers of this player in 2019, okay, I'll give you the player. I'll give you the numbers: 100 runs, 161 hits, 97 RBIs, 44 home runs, and basically played the majority of the season, but not the full season. Missed the end of it.
That's this year?
Yes, and was probably the reason why the team did not make the playoffs in baseball.
Last year.
Yeah. Do you think that player is worth $250 million?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I have a hard time. I have a hard time equating baseball contracts to the production. It's something that I've always had a hard time with.
It's weird.
I have a hard time equating baseball contracts to profit.
Yes.
It's how
that's
the
another
fuck
thing
do these
too.
teams
It's
make
a
money?
lot of
Yeah.
money. It's a lot of money.
There's so much advertising in baseball. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but I get that. But God, it's a ungodly contract.
It is.
For a player that, okay, Yelich is great. Don't get me wrong. And had he played, the Brewers would probably have gone way further than they did, and he could be a potential piece for a team. You know, that being said, I do understand the reason why a team would want to pay a guy like him $250 million, but I always have that hard time justifying it, you know? So I just feel like in general, when teams spend that kind of money on players, I love it for the player itself, but for the team, I always think like that's just a lot to overcome.
It's a good point. I mean, but there's so much ad money in baseball, man. It's like they just like want to give out all the money.
But again, this is also why I'm talking about the XFL not having a salary cap. I feel like, you know, if the XFL decided to pay a player like Tom Brady's a free agent. Let's say the XFL said the Houston Roughnecks
you have to
says,
have a salary
I'll
cap,
fucking
though.
give you $150 million over 2 years.
You have to have a salary.
He's
cap.
gonna say yes, obviously.
You have to have a salary
You know,
cap.
you
Well,
don't
I
have
don't
to.
know. I don't remember who was arguing it, saying that the NFL shouldn't have a salary cap. And I said if the NFL didn't have a salary cap, there'd be 3 teams that would be good.
No, I don't think there's a necessity for a salary cap when your league makes the kind of money that the NFL does.
Yeah.
And especially when when their network deals are about to come up and they're going to start fishing for money from ESPN, from CBS. You know, CBS who just spent $17 million on Tony Romo, your boy.
My boy.
You know, and that's another thing
He's
too.
making more money talking than he did playing.
Yes.
No, he made
He's
like
also
20
better
million.
at talking
In
than
a
he is playing
season.
football.
A season, 20 million.
He's also better at talking than he is better at being a quarterback. But anyway,
Arguable. but-
he's great at the
Okay,
booth.
so this is another
He's
thing.
the only guy I listen to.
I remember wanting to talk about this because we had the episode before it happened. So Tony Romo making $17 million a year for some reason bothers a lot of players.
Yeah.
Okay, especially Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas came out and said it does. The announcers shouldn't make more than the players. The NFL does not pay Tony Romo.
He came out and saying that we shouldn't sign the new CBA because, and this is an example of it.
Okay, the NFL does not pay the announcers. CBS pays the announcers. CBS pays the NFL for rights to show the games. Then they have another budget for talent, and they paid Tony Romo $17 million. That has nothing to do with the money that Michael Thomas would get in a new CBA. It literally has nothing to do with it.
No, I don't think.
And
I don't think.
the fact that he doesn't realize that means that he's dumber than I thought he was.
No, I mean, come on. I don't.
No,
think,
but like-
I don't think it's that. I think what he's saying is it comes from a place of anger when you realize that Terry Sanjama.
I like it. It's a nice name.
I kind of understand where Michael Thomas is coming from, but I do agree. I'll play the devil's advocate in both senses. Where I'll agree with what you have to say, you know, but at the same time, as an NFL player, you look at the salary cap and you think like, God, we're making an ungodly amount of money. And with these guaranteed and with the guarantees in these contracts, sometimes like you'll sign a deal in the NFL for $70 million and you're really only going to clear like 20-25.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's one of the main reasons why I don't like to draft in the NFL. And I'm probably the same guy that was saying at the beginning that
You need a draft though.
that we don't need a draft. I don't even think that a draft makes any sense.
Because it's a draft. It's not as if you have a right to play in that league. If you don't want to get drafted, don't play.
No, but it's not about that. It's just
Yes, it is.
Think about the concept of it. Think about the concept of a draft.
People think that the NFL is a right to be in that league.
No, it's
you have to earn your fucking right to play in that league. You have to earn your right to play any sports professionally. And the fact that people say, "Oh, well, I want to get in and play for whoever I want," go fuck yourself. You don't have a choice.
right.
At the end of the day, you're a superior talented person, right? Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you're good enough to play in this fucking league. play in the league. Doesn't matter where it's going to be.
Hypothetically, though, because I don't know the actual detailed rules on this, if you're a NCAA Division I player and you're going to get drafted, but you want to choose what team you're going to go to,
don't enter the draft.
But you don't have to declare for the draft, right?
No.
You could drop out and then just go to a team's door and be like, "Hey, sign me." Or are there where your rights belong?
You have to be 3 years removed from high school in order to be eligible for the draft.
Yeah.
If you're not eligible for the draft, then the NFL has to approve you. But if you're the type of person to say, I don't want to get drafted, I want to choose where I'm going to be, the NFL will not approve you getting to the
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where it comes. That's why everybody's entered to the draft. If not, then it would be what Duke was saying. That they want to make the draft important, which is very important.
I get that. And I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm just my overall issue with the NFL draft will always come down to the concept of this. I think that if you are in the best of your field, let's say you're the greatest engineering student in
a top example last week.
We spoke about this last week.
No, but I'll say, but
you should be able to choose the team you want to go.
But that's my point. My point is that when you're done, you're not drafted into potentially the worst company ever. You'll have the opportunity to accept jobs from great companies because those are the companies that will hire you.
Yeah, the company hiring you is the NFL.
Right. So
the company hiring you is the NFL. The department they put you in is not up to you.
But I don't understand why there's such hesitation towards allowing players to choose their destiny. Why not have the Cowboys?
They're able to choose their destiny in free agency.
Why not? Yes, but that's like in 4 years after their fucking prime.
It also protects the teams from bidding all kinds of money for Maurice Claret.
But that's okay. I'm okay with that. But it's a sports league that exists within a capitalist society, and every other business operates not in the sense of a draft.
We live in a capitalist society.
Okay,
so,
wait.
No, but I'm saying is that league doesn't apply the same rule, the same ideals of capitalism like every other business. Of course, in America, for them it's like when you're done, we will tell you where the fuck you work, and there's no negotiation. You're gonna make what we're telling you to make.
But so here's an idea though, right? So this year, Joe Burrow obviously won the Heisman. Then you have Justin Fields, Chase Young, Jalen Hurts are also nominated.
Yes.
Imagine just for a second that all of them, instead of saying I'm going to go through the draft and everything, says I want to choose what team I'm going to go to. So they apply to the NFL saying I don't want to go to the draft, but I want to be approved. And the NFL declines all their offers from all the stars of the NCAA. So you're going into the draft, your best athletes are not available at that point in time. They're saying, I just want to get signed, I want to pick my team, I want to go here. Do you think that would actually start almost like a revolution in a sense?
I'm
like you need a group of people to actually go and basically make a big case for it and make all the news
but
and everything blow up, right?
It'll never happen because the way
why would you?
Exactly. You're guaranteed more money if you get drafted, because if you're a first round pick in the NFL, you're guaranteed a certain amount of money, depends on where in the first round you were taken.
I get that.
If you're drafted in the top 3 rounds, you're guaranteed to make the team.
Right.
Okay. So if you're good enough, if you're Joe Burrow and you're whatever,
I have seen players
I will
not
be
make
playing
teams
for
on the third round pick though. I've seen
maybe they would get cut
many times.
They get cut. It's very different.
Get cut. Yes. No, I
but they still get paid.
I get that.
They still get their bonus.
I do not like the idea of a draft. I never will, and we can argue this till the cows come home. Like I'm never gonna like the idea of a draft.
We live in an urban city.
I do not believe that the NFL draft is healthy for the league, and I also don't think it's healthy for players. And I think that it's contradictory to what's the most beneficial idea towards allowing these players to make money in the most violent sport.
But
these players, you're basically going to get them for 4 years.
But they make money.
And who knows? Yes, I get that. But there's a lot of issues with the contracts that they sign. There's a lot of ways to lose guaranteed money based on production. Where if you get injured, you have a concussion, you're
can't
out.
Lose guaranteed money.
No, but I'm saying is that there's guaranteed money, and there's also the contracts that they sign. In the way that the report, they'll say, "Oh, this player is going to make $200 million," when in reality it's way less that's guaranteed.
No, I get what you're saying.
Whereas in any other sport, it's not the same.
I get what you're saying, but the NFL is like. It's not your right to play here. These are our rules.
I will agree with you though, in a sense that
they have a union.
I will agree with you just to bring this all around and to bring it full circle. I will agree with you that the whole thing with Michael Thomas and Tony Romo, they're two separate situations. Like we're talking about a private company like CBS giving Tony Romo,
deciding to do whatever they want with their money, which is what you were looking for.
Which is exactly that. That's what I like. I like seeing that. I want CBS to give Tony Romo that money because he deserves it. And I wouldn't like it if CBS says, well, can't give him 17 million because the cap is on this kind of position. We can only give him 5 million.
You know why Tony Romo deserves it? Because I can guarantee you there are more people listening to Tony Romo. Okay,
he's the only guy that I will unmute. Like, we shall have music on.
Yeah,
I will actually listen to Tony Romo.
There are more people.
Always does a great job.
There are more people that say they're gonna watch Tony Romo, game because it's one of two, right? Always, it's either one game or the other, and he's usually the other, and you usually watch him. Then, if the Saints are playing the Rams, and on the other side the Cowboys are playing the Eagles, there's more likely a chance that Tony Romo doing the Dallas game is going to get more views than Michael Thomas catching 5 balls a game for the Saints.
That's not true.
You don't think it's true?
You know what, man? I'll just agree with you. That's a good point. I wasn't fully listening to the whole statistic analysis of it, but I'll say, fuck. You know what, man? That sounds good. But here's
listening to the things that Duke can't do in life.
Yeah,
along with riding a bike.
but going just to kind of like top off this whole thing. So Tony Romo was going to sign his massive fucking contract. It was originally announced. It was leaked that ESPN had offered him 14 million. He ends up taking 17 from CBS.
I wonder who leaked that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a fucking job. Like, whoever his agent is, great job. But how about this, Jim Nantz? What is your play? Like, you were the dude in that.
He does the master.
He just saved. I think Tony Romo just saved Jim Nantz's job for football anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Nantz is going to rack in mad money after this.
Basically, the deal is he gets to do the Masters, and then they force him to do the NFL. That's honestly what it's come down to at this point.
How long have we been going for, Hughes?
I wish you had to use a clock in front of you, but it's been about half an hour.
Okay, good. So Claude Julien.
Claude Julien, yes.
Coach for the Habs. He's guaranteed his job next year.
Cool. I don't know why. I don't know why you would guarantee that. I mean,
that's the thing. That's the thing I'm thinking about today. I didn't listen to any of the local radio today. But I don't hate it. The reason why.
It's an old boys club move.
That's one of them. A reason why is that how many injuries have the Habs had this year? Okay?
They've had a lot.
Should they be in a better position than they are? For sure. How many times did they blow a 2 or 3 goal lead to lose the game?
Too many times.
Like 12. I think it's 12 times this year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's bad.
That falls on coaching. If you're up 3-0, they almost blew it the other day against.
Well, they did. They went to overtime. The fucking idiots.
Who was it against?
Carolina.
Fucking idiots is
You're
great
up
analysis.
3-0.
Yeah.
And you fucking have to go to overtime. Jesus Christ. How stupid are you?
They won overtime, but thank God, man, because I was going to lose it if they lost.
That's hot sauce analysis right there. Fucking idiots.
Fucking idiots,
But
man.
it's true.
So maybe it does fall on coaching, but at the end of the day, he didn't really have all the pieces to work with. So I could see giving him another year. My issue with them keeping him is that they have a perfectly capable coach that speaks the language in the system on the bench as assistant coach.
Claude Julien is the Kyle Shanahan of the NHL.
Yeah.
Shanahan. What's your problem with Kyle Shanahan?
Well, because he won a Stanley Cup. Shanahan won a Super Bowl. Very
Shanahan
old
didn't
school.
win a Super Bowl.
Yes, he did.
Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah.
No, he didn't actually.
No, Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought
He
meant his
blows
dad.
the fourth quarter.
I thought he meant his dad. Yeah, exactly. He's in the same way.
Also, I don't think his dad won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Mike Shanahan with the Broncos. 2 of them.
Oh, with Elway.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm old. That's too old for me.
That's like 96.
Do you ever think one day when we talk about sports
98.
references and people don't fucking get it? When we talk about like Peyton Manning and kids like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I feel like that's our future.
I miss my flight one. Story time.
Oh, man, really?
Story time.
But let's just finish off this while he gets this. So Julien.
So yeah, so now he's staying.
Okay,
And,
so is that like I don't know much about hockey. I love watching hockey, but I just don't fucking know anything. So I'll watch it haphazardly, you know.
Haphazardly.
I love watching fights. It's about it.
I always thought it was haphazardly.
Haphazard.
It's haphazardly, yeah.
I think so. Is
Story
there a team in the NHL that you think will fire their coach?
Well, there's been
There's
many
been
this
like
year so
6
far.
already.
Awesome.
No, I think more than that. I think if who's gonna be fired their coach?
Cool, man.
It's tough, man. Islanders maybe. Barry Trotz. If they don't make
So
if
far,
they don't make the playoffs.
just in the order that it's been done, and this is recent-ish, so I don't know all of them. Babcock was fired for the Leafs. Hines was fired for the Devils. You had Peters fired for the Flames. You had Montgomery fired for the Stars. You had DeBoer fired for the Sharks. You had Laviolette fired for the Predators. You had Gallant fired for the Golden Knights. You had Bruce Boudreau fired for the Minnesota Wild.
That was crazy,
I think
too.
that's the last one.
Bruce Boudreau got fired for like a 7-0-1 streak.
Yeah.
Doesn't fucking make sense.
So why not bring him as the next coach as the Habs?
He doesn't speak French.
Why has that ever mattered? I don't get this.
Anyway, so it would mostly
media
be
thing,
they'll-
right?
If they do fire Julien and Gallant hasn't found a job yet, they'll most likely hire Gallant. But they have Danny Ducharme on the bench. I don't know. I like him.
Cool.
Story time? Ready?
Do it.
So I went to California a couple years ago. It's a short story. It's not a crazy story. I went to California a couple years ago to see a few friends of mine. They live in Orange County. That's why I was telling Eagle you got to go to Anaheim, whatever the nerd convention is. And our flight was, let's say, the Sunday, whatever that day was. And Peyton Manning had just retired. It was the year he won the Super Bowl with the Broncos, and he announced his retirement a couple months later in March when I was there. And my friend Eric and I, we were set to leave. And I was like, what time's our flight? He said, like at 12:55 or something.
Okay, so super useless details.
Yeah, no, this is very, very important details. He's like, it's 12:55. So we go, we get bagels. You ever been to Einstein Bagels?
Yeah, I've been
It's
there.
fucking sick.
Where's this?
This is Orange County.
I've never been to Orange County.
No, but
so
there's
I've never
other
been
ones.
there.
It's all over the states.
Never been there.
Anyway, it's
Not into bagels, actually.
It's fucking sick. It was pretty
Bagels
good.
are like 50-50 for me.
Oh, they're pretty good with the salmon and everything.
But is it like the thick bagels or the thinner bagels?
It's a regular bagel, just like here, but it's what they put inside the bagel.
What do they put inside it? Salmon?
Well, you can order what you want. So I got the salmon, I got the Atlantic.
But like the salmon's inside the bagel.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with my story, though.
Okay.
So...
But like the bagel's not cut.
Lower it you go.
The bagel's cut and there's salmon
It's
inside
already
it.
low.
It's
But is
fucking loud.
it that the salmon is injected inside of it?
Yeah, exactly. so we go get our bagels, we get our coffee, we're taking our time, whatever. We go back, we see the Peyton Manning retirement speech on TV. We start watching it.
Okay.
Start watching it. Cool. We get in a cab. It's over. We get in a cab. We're going to the airport. Right as we're about to leave, get out of the cab, I'm like, let me check our boarding pass. So I look, flight 10:30,
Okay.
Mr. Flight, because we had to watch Peyton Manning's retirement speech.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty sad, man.
I know.
I think it's more because you fucked up the time that
So
your flight
then-
was at. but
exactly.
Yeah,
that's
like
okay.
what you didn't.
It's not
you
my
didn't
fault.
know?
Not my
But
fault.
you didn't know what time your flight was at.
I didn't look because I trusted that my friend Eric had the information.
Oh, there's your first mistake.
yeah,
man.
yeah. So,
trust Eric.
so we had to get on the next flight, and so we lied
How
about.
deep in a bender are you at this point?
Oh, not bad. It wasn't bad at all. We
Don't fly drunk. It's really rough.
I know it's.
I've done it.
awful.
Fuck.
That's the
So
next
we
story
had to
time.
lie about our siblings being in car accidents in order for us to get a flight out quickly. So we got one out that night. It was connecting. It took a while, but it was.
Oh, okay, so we're just gonna glance over the fraud that you committed.
it wasn't fraud.
Okay,
I
so-
mean, that's basically fraud.
It's fraud.
No, I just said that we
It's
said
not fraud.
my sister got in a car accident. I'm in a rush. I'm panicking. I don't know what's going on. And then the woman's like, "It's okay, darling. Don't worry about it." And then she'll find me a spot. She'll
What's
work.
the- what's
she'll
the
work.
story you
She'll
told?
work 10%.
You could have just
harder.
said, "I'm a fucking idiot, and my friend
No, because
can't
then-
read a ticket. Can you get me on a plane?"
Have you ever been talked to a ticketing agent and been nice to them?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever
we
told
don't
them
lie
you're an
about
idiot?
we don't lie about people dying, man.
I didn't say anything about death. I said accident. I said car accident. But they're assholes. If you admit to making a mistake, they will not let you down. They're not gonna let you live it down. They're gonna give you shit. They're fucking assholes.
I mea culpa. I'm like, "Hi, I'm an idiot. I did this. Can you help me, please?"
No, you gotta fake a death. You gotta say there's somebody dying.
See,
Shit.
so someone did die.
No, nobody died. No, we said car accident. She assumed, but she worked 10% harder, man. That's all that matters. 10% harder.
And that was story time with Terry Tan.
Exactly.
Wow, I feel dirty. I'm gonna take a shower.
Before we wrap up here, boys, Duke, I know there's some news that's happened with your favorite team.
New York Knicks, fucking Knicks. It's funny how this team is never in the news for playing basketball. There's always something in the news about them fucking something up, public relations wise. So Spike Lee was on the Stephen A. Smith show today. Not Stephen A. Smith show. He probably was, but he was also on what's that show that Stephen A. Smith has? It's not Part of the Interruption. It's First Take. First Take. So he's on First Take, and he's saying that last night's game. Spike Lee was taking the elevator. He was going. He took the employee entrance to get into Madison Square Garden. The employee entrance is an area that a guy like him will generally come into. The employee entrance is pretty close to Penn Station as well. So it's a lot more of a favorable location to take when you're trying to check out the game. Basically, it's in and out, And so he took the entrance as usual because he's been taking entrance forever because Spike Lee's always at Madison Square Garden.
I don't think I've seen a Knicks game where he wasn't there.
Yeah, and so now he's saying that he's no longer going to attend Knicks games because he was embarrassed, and he was said that. And you're not gonna like this guy. You're not gonna like this because anytime a celebrity says something, Terry doesn't like it.
No, that's not true.
Cool, but anyway,
and I've never really disagreed with Spike Lee. So
yeah, neither have I. And he as obnoxious as people like to paint him generally at Knicks games, like he's not like all over the place.
No, it's just
like
that whenever he does something,
there,
he's highlighted.
That's what it is. That's what it comes down to.
I've always liked Spike Lee. Do
so
the right
anyway,
thing. Great movie.
So basically, so he gets pulled out of the elevator, and he's basically told that that he can't take the same mentions that he's been taking forever. That he's not allowed to take that entrance anymore because of some last minute kind of regulation that they put in place. And he's saying that James Dolan is the main reason why it's going on.
If James Dolan really did this,
he feels like James Dolan has been harassing him. Okay, now the New York Knicks come out.
The story turns.
The New York Knicks, of course, because they never know how to make a situation get better. They come out with a press release saying it's laughable and saying that they had warned Spike Lee multiple times not to use the employee entrance. Why all of a sudden that this was a problem, I don't know. And why would you make this a thing? I don't know. So Spike Lee's saying he's not going to attend anymore next year.
I've always been kind of like a supporter of James Dolan. Not a supporter, but kind of like his.
Yeah, you always whatever you bring up,
you're like, I like that attorney guy. Because I'm like.
But anytime we bring up ownership, you're always
it's his team. He can literally do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
he can literally do whatever he wants, Duke. That's what you don't get.
No, I'm not saying that he's not allowed to do it. I just don't see it. I just
whatever he wants, regardless if it's right or wrong.
Yes.
And this one is 100% wrong because Spike Lee has done more for the Knicks than James Dolan has.
That's the thing. I don't know. Okay, maybe he said something because the whole thing was with
but
Dolan doesn't
do whatever he wants.
Dolan doesn't like being told that he's bad at his job, even if he is. Okay, but that being said, he's bad at his job
because he's losing control and he's trying to gain it back.
He's bad at his job, but people watch the Knicks and their ticket prices are the highest in the league, and they still gross the most out of any other league.
They haven't won a championship since '73,
and they have not won a championship since '73. And so that's what
I guess that
year. And that's what Spike Lee is saying. He's like. I didn't do anything wrong. I basically went through the entrance that I was allowed to go through, and now I'm getting escorted out of an elevator. And I understand it in his perspective. Like he looks at like, look, you embarrassed me in front of people for no reason, and you could have easily just called me and told me you can't use that entrance anymore. And also, why the fuck is this a problem? Why is it that we never talk about the Knicks? When it comes to them ever winning a fucking game. And then the only thing we ever hear about the Knicks is this insufferable fucking owner that doesn't know how to run a league. And you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the Bengals. He reminds me of the goddamn Bengals. He reminds me of that whole organization. They're just happy selling seats because nobody has anything else to fucking watch.
Okay, so right now,
this time of year, what are you gonna watch when you live in New York City? You're not gonna watch the
Ghostbusters,
the Rangers.
Oh. Go to Broadway.
Rangers, Islanders are moving back to
hot dog.
Islanders are moving back to Long Island.
Also, maybe Spike Lee, he might have drummed up this whole thing because he's like, I'm fucking tired of watching the Knicks. Like, I'm just gonna make it seem like it's his fault
to not watch them.
It's like everybody expects me to be there, and I don't want to be there anymore. So let me just cause shit with Dolan.
That's a good point.
Just to not be there.
It's a sick play. It's a sick play. I like it.
So Peace is back next week, by the way. Thank God.
No, not thank God. We've been great without him. No.
I like him better than me, so we'll see.
You've been Duke, you've been Terry, I've been Eagle, and
you've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.